Just like politics, all news is local, and that's certainly the case on Idaho Matters, the weekday public affairs podcast from Boise State Public Radio. Listen today to hear about events and issues that impact Idahoans. Search Idaho Matters wherever you get your podcasts.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector, Idaho's daily news. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. Today, we will bring you an update on the fire watch. We'll tell you how Latinas will have a greater influence on this year's election. The City of Eagle has begun moving books away from the general public in its library. Plus, we've got an update on access to COVID, RSV, and flu vaccines. It is Wednesday, October 9th, and here are today's stories. We will start with the fire watch and the Valley Fire, which stretches across sections of Ada and Boise counties. As of this morning, 9,900 acres have burned. The Valley Fire, 66% contained. And this morning, there are 202 firefighters on the scene. Now over to the Lava Fire, where the Nevada Team 1 unit has taken over operations. And John Pitts is the new operations section chief on the scene.
Still working with some interior heat close to the line, working that with helicopters and crews. We were able to continue to hotspot along the fire's perimeter, putting some more black on the map.
Black lines on the map meaning containment, and as of this morning, the Lava Fire has burned nearly 98,000 acres. It is 90% contained. Now let's check in with the Middle Fork Complex, and that includes 4 wildland fires: the Bulldog, the Goat, Nellie, and the Snag fires. Randy Lamb is with operations on that scene.
3 out of our 4 fires, the Nellie, the Bulldog, and the Snag, are in patrol status at this time primarily, and we are doing repair work on all of our control lines. We are still taking suppression actions on the Goat fire, specifically down near the Silver Creek Plunge, where it feeds down into Bridge Creek.
And just as a reminder, that Goat fire has been burning for more than 2 months now. It has burned more than 32,000 acres. It is 24% contained. Idaho's new law on who should have access to what at public libraries is casting a shadow over the City of Eagle. Idaho Ed News is reporting that the Eagle Public Library, following a closed-door meeting, decided to relocate 24 books. Some went directly to an adult section. Others went behind a counter, requiring the public to ask permission to read the book. Idaho Ed News says the relocation could well represent the largest single action restricting library books since House Bill 710 became law earlier this year. The list of the books that were moved include works written by Jesse Andrews, Maggie Thrash, and Sarah Moss. 27 days, less than 4 weeks until Election Day, and officials across the region remain quite busy. Right now, it's about receiving requests and sending out absentee ballots. Idaho's largest election operation is in Ada County.
To date, 53,000 absentee ballots have been requested. We're averaging about 1,500 per day.
This is Ada County Clerk Trent Triple reporting to Ada County Commissioners on Tuesday.
So far, we received back 11,000. That's about a 20% return rate, and that's on par with our normal return rate.
And another big reminder, early in-person voting begins next week.
The 15th of October, we are up and running with in-person voting. 5 locations: Meridian, Boise, and Kuna City Halls, Ada County elections, Eagle Library, and Bound Crossing.
Meanwhile, Latinas are expected to be a significant influence in this year's election. Yvette Fernandez reports on what may draw them to the polls in higher numbers.
The most consistent predictor of voter turnout is affluence. People with higher education and higher income tend to vote more than their counterparts. Latinas earn only an average of 51 cents for every dollar a white male earns, yet they are registering to vote in record numbers. Yadria Sanchez with the advocacy group Poder Latinx says registration among Latina voters has more than doubled in the past couple of months.
Latinas are stepping up because they recognize what's at stake, especially with policies like Project 2025.
She points to Project 2025's call for restricting women's reproductive rights, eliminating public education programs, and reversing the Affordable Care Act. And Latinas are becoming slightly more affluent. The economic output of U.S. Latinas has grown by more than 51% since 2010. Latina educational attainment also grew more than 2.5 times that of non-Hispanic females. For the Mountain West News Bureau, I'm Yvette Fernandez.
Depending on where you are in the region this morning, your air quality may be good or quite bad. Yesterday, the community of Garden Valley had an air quality index reading of over 230, or purple. Simply put, that means very unhealthy, all due to wildfire smoke. The community of Salmon can expect a day of unhealthy air. The AQI forecast for today in Salmon is expected to be orange. That means unhealthy for sensitive groups. There have been more than a few questions about availability of seasonal vaccines for COVID, the flu, or RSV. Right now, Sophia Darlings brings us an update.
Updated COVID-19 vaccines are now available in pharmacies and medical offices across the state. The Centers of Disease Control recommends anyone 6 months and older should get this 2024-2025 vaccine. State epidemiologist Dr. Christine Hahn recommends people check out vaccines.gov, where they are looking for nearby available locations for the latest immunization.
Obviously, many people have their doctor that they'll go to for these shots, and you can call there, but the availability seems to be pretty good. I went and typed in my zip code, and lucky that I live in an area with a lot of pharmacies, but anybody around the state can do that and should be able to see what's available.
Dr. Hahn says that COVID-19, influenza, and RSV are the primary viruses to expect during this year's fall surge, and that there are vaccinations available for the 3 viruses.
In a time when there's so much going on in our busy lives, is just a reminder that COVID can continue to cause pretty severe illness. Anybody who's never been vaccinated before, might strongly consider getting a vaccine.
Idaho law prohibits employers from requiring COVID-19 vaccinations for employees to work, but Dr. Hahn says doctors still recommend getting COVID-19 vaccinations, just like any other vaccination during peak sick seasons. Sophia Darlings, Boise State Public Radio News.
That is today's episode of The Connector. I'm George Prentice. We'll see you back here on Thursday. To stay in touch with the news between now and then, check out BoiseStatePublicRadio.org or download the free Boise State Public Radio app. And thanks for listening.
If you like podcasts like this, explore more from the Boise State Public Radio podcast family. There you'll find a mix of daily news, Idaho Voices, and in-depth series on a wide range of topics. I'm talking wild horses, political scandals, sustainable ranching, and militia groups in a post-January 6th world. Wherever you get your podcasts, just search Boise State Public Radio to find what Idaho's NPR station has in store for you.